Hello, here we are with a comparison video between the Samsung Omnia W and the Nokia Lumia 800. Two Windows Phone 7.5 devices, but both with very similar specifications. So, the main differences between the two. The Nokia Lumia has an AMOLED display at 3.7 inches. The Omnia has an AMOLED display, but it's Super AMOLED at 3.7 inches. The Nokia has 16 gig of internal memory. The Omnia has 8 gig of internal memory. The Nokia has an 8 megapixel camera. The Samsung has a 5 megapixel camera. So, those are the key differences. The other big one is price. The Samsung Omnia W is about £150 less, including VAT, depending on where you buy them from. So let's just take a look at the two to give a rough comparison. So these are the screens at full brightness. We've got a Super AMOLED on the Omnia W and we've got the AMOLED on the Nokia. Now the light isn't great here to give you a comparison, but here we go. Here's the zooming in, pinching and zooming to full zoom there on the Omnia, and then if we pinch and zoom on the Nokia. So that's a very quick look at some of the differences. Although the Omnia has an AMOLED display, Super AMOLED, the Nokia almost feels a little bit brighter, and I'd be inclined to say on first impressions this looks better, but technically this one is better. So let's just pinch back out of those and go to a different image. Again, now in actual fact on this image the colours are such that this actually feels a little bit more vivid when I'm looking at them here. So that's a quick look at them on the actual screen side of things. Interface wise it was very similar. It's Windows Phone 7.5, although this does have Nokia Drive and Nokia Music on it. So let's take a look at them in hardware form here. So just switch them off. So they're both black. This one does have a case on it. Let's just peel off this case. Or in actual fact, let's bring in the dummy one because it's just as good a job. So very similar in terms of actual design. In terms of height, there's not a lot in it, just fractionally the Lumia. The Lumia definitely looks a bit squarer, and that it is. In terms of thickness, now the Samsung looks a little bit fatter, but then the Nokia is very rounded. It feels solid in the hand, but it feels wider than the Samsung. The Samsung feels more comfortable, in my personal opinion, in the palm of the hand. So let's have a look that way. So from this perspective, the Nokia feels wider, but you've got quite a thick piece at the top here of the Samsung. Let's look at the back view. So you can see there that the Nokia has a larger sort of profile, but that's because it's sort of that bit thinner. We've got the cameras in different locations. The camera's in the more traditional location on the Samsung, and in the center here on the Nokia. Positioning of some of the ports, where we've got the micro USB charging port on the bottom of the Samsung. On the Nokia we've got the loudspeaker grill. On the top we've got the 3.5mm jack on both of them, but the Nokia we've then got the charging ports on the top here with this complicated sort of covering system. So let's bring in the real one here. You have to actually push down there to get the micro USB port. So in aesthetics wise that's better, but it's actually a bit more of a pain in my personal opinion. And then you've got the power there next to the 3.5mm jack, so it's not ideal for everyone. I'd prefer the power perhaps on the bottom, and then that makes the Samsung a bit better when it comes to actually you know, getting accessories and what have you. It can sit in a dock like so, whereas the Nokia is much more complicated and not quite so easy. So that's a quick rundown of comparison between the two devices. So Samsung, about £150 cheaper, has 8 gig of memory and a 5 megapixel camera. The Nokia, about 150 more expensive, but you've got 16 gig internal memory and you've got a 8 megapixel camera. You've got an AMOLED display on here at 3.7 inches and a Super AMOLED display at 3.7 inches on the Samsung.